are just 1 point away from guaranteeing Champions League football next season. They stay in third place. They're now on 70 points. They are 8 points clear. Manchester City, as things stand, going 3 points clear of Liverpool. Champions League. The other way that could happen for them is if Tottenham fail to beat Arsenal in the North London derby tomorrow. That is a huge game in terms of the top four. It gets underway from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports Premier League. Super Sunday sees take on Manchester City. By the time Liverpool next play in the Premier League, City could be 6 points clearer than 1 o'clock for that one on game at the bottom of the table, especially with Everton drawing as things stand. They're up against Brentford at the weekend. 4 o'clock for the Billboard is Newcastle against Arsenal. All the build up to that one. There will have reaction to that match between Leeds and Chelsea. A comprehensive victory for Chelsea that leads of qualification for the Champions League next season. We've been watching Chelsea's 3-0 victory with the first goal of the game. He's with Emma Saunders.
Obviously a stadium with a lot of history.
And sent off as well. Naturally, what happens then, the pitch opens up and you're able to control it a lot better. And they moved the ball really, really well today. Mason Mount was excellent. Lukaku up front was fantastic. You know, they did really, really well. So when you've got these things and everything kind of falls into place for you, it's very difficult to play against a team like that.
And Graeme, the quality of the opening goal for Chelsea was
in that Leeds side, particularly in their back line.
I wouldn't say that. I think it was the more where we started, the counter press, the way we had the desire to win the ball back high and create chances. That was what was all about first half. And the same objective was to carry it on in the second. That was what the manager said at half time. I felt like we did that. Obviously, it helps when they've got a man sent off. It makes it a bit more easier. You have more space. But yeah, they kept running throughout. That's what they're all about.
What did you make of the challenge that saw Dan James dismissed?
I actually didn't see it. I haven't seen it. I wasn't looking when the tackle was made. I just saw, obviously, Cov on the floor after. I didn't know the ref was going to give him red. As I said, I didn't see the tackle, but no, obviously it's a tough one for them.
How pleased were you with then how you went on to manage the game? You've touched on it a bit already with a bit of a blip you've had and seeing out recent matches. So to go on and win in the style that you did ahead of this weekend, how big does that feel to this side right now?
We spoke about how big this week was at the beginning. It didn't start well, obviously, with the loss on last Saturday. So we needed a bounce back. We had a few days to get together as a group, speak within the group. Some truths that needed to be said, and we got that out of our system, and now this was a game where we could get going. We know what's coming up next. It's a massive, massive game, so I feel like this is a good step towards that.
Exactly that. Good stead, not only for a top four finish, but the small matter of an FA Cup final as well.
Yeah, it's all exciting. Speaking a bit about every game's a final, and the next one is one, so we're ready. It's time for us to try and win one.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So Chelsea taking that 3-0 win and the confidence that comes with it into the FA Cup final at the weekend. For Leeds United, it's still very tense at the bottom of the table. Were Chelsea just better tonight?
I think it definitely helped getting that early goal.
Look, he's got great skills, got an eye for a goal, eye for a killer pass. He's just a top player at such a young age.
And as you said, it was a real blow for Leeds to go behind so early in the game, but
him showing passion and a little bit of frustration, and that's what we saw in the end.
It's reckless. He's off the ground. He's endangering an opponent. On another day, we don't.
96. There's 30. There's 3 red cards this season. 2 of them have come in the last 2 games, including Luke Ayling's in the last outing. Yeah. Is ill-discipline going to be one of the factors that could see Leeds in trouble and possibly being relegated this season?
Do you know what? I briefly touched on it. It's the passion being shown in the wrong way. And everything that's happened in the last few games, the Man City game, the Arsenal game, obviously tonight as well, we've seen Leeds United going behind. The frustration comes out and players are trying to get in front of opposition players. They're trying to show the manager, listen, I'm in here for the long haul. I'm in here to do exactly as you ask. I'm working as hard as I possibly can. I'm doing it for the team, for the fans. And it's just a split second, blink of an eye. You know, it comes out in the wrong way. It's something that does need addressing ever so slightly, but you know, it's difficult because there is a thin line between showing passion in the right way and getting it slightly wrong. Today, that was definitely wrong. It was the wrong way. But there's an element of the physicality of the game that I don't want to see lost. You know, it's just got to be done in a sensible manner.
They'd only won 2 of their last 7 before this. Thomas Tuchel has talked about the disruption at the club and how that's affected the players. So there was a suggestion that maybe this was a good time to play Chelsea.
I thought this might be a good time to play Chelsea tonight. Cup final coming up. You know, one eye on that. But Chelsea were fabulous tonight. Fabulous.
And is this the difference in quality?
Yeah, class. Reece James ends up with it here. He dinks this into Jorginho. Jorginho sticks it onto Mason Mount. That dink there buys Pulisic so much time that, you know, the flick round the corner from Mason Mount. I'll come back to this young man. He's just top class. Look, just top class. And he sees it, and he's got the delivery. Watch this again. I mean, it just buys Pulisic all the time he needs, out of his feet, picks his spot, goalkeeper no chance. Again, Mason Mount. Mason Mount and James, 2 young lads, best players on the pitch for me tonight.
From a Leeds point of view, in terms of some of the defending of those, there were difficulties with it, but they were also up against Romelu Lukaku, who seems to be hitting the form that maybe we thought he would do more often for Chelsea this season.
Yeah, I'm just frustrated he turned it up today. He showed great strength, great power, great ability, and his finishing ability. This was very unlucky. Obviously, he was offside for this one, but he was a constant threat. You know, he's getting in front of his defender. Very unlucky not to have scored that header. But you could see his positivity, his movement. He's in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately for himself, he was leaning backwards a little bit. The ball was a little bit high. But look, this sums him up. Pace, power, strength. Managed to get the ball back onto his strong left foot. Very unfortunate not to have hit the target. You would expect him to hit the target in instances like that. But this one there, change of direction. But he's pointing where he... Silly play from the defender, don't get me wrong. But you look at the attack here, 3v3, but Lukaku, 3 inside the box. I thought he overdone it. Initially, took 1 too many touches, should have been a little bit more decisive in his finishing, but you know, that just shows the composure, the confidence that he's playing with. He's got a few goals in 3 games now. He's doing wonders.
I don't get it. I mean, he came out with something along the lines of, they're not playing to my strengths. When he went in the huff, he said the things he said about Inter Milan, you know, and obviously the turmoil that Chelsea have been in with the change of ownership. But if you're a striker, all strikers just want the same thing. They want the ball delivered as early as possible and accurately. You run around, pick your runs, play with aggression. You know, I don't get it when someone says they're not playing to my strengths. He's in it. Yeah, I think this may say a bit about us going forward with this guy. Look, he's really happy there. And him and Zaya, I know both 2 of them have been left out of the team, but they would appear to be really happy. He may have turned a corner, but I come back to it, I don't buy him saying they're not playing to my strengths. Your strengths are, use your aggression, your power, what picture you're seeing in your head. You just want the guys around you that you're playing with to deliver it quick and early, so that's buying you a little bit more time. And he's got great players. He plays with some fabulous players in that team that will do that for him. So I don't buy him saying they're not playing to my strengths. I thought he'd be the difference for Chelsea this year. I thought he'd pushed them to a point where they were pushing Liverpool and City. But it's not happened. And he has to remain there and prove all his doubters wrong. He can't leave there under the shadow he's currently got over his head, or he turns up at the weekend and scores goals, which we obviously hope he doesn't. But going forward, I mean, he's got to believe his future's in England.
The final whistle behind them. Let's hear what Jesse Marsh makes of the whole situation. He's with Emma Saunders.
Yeah, it wasn't easy when we give up the early goal, and I actually thought, other than that, we had a pretty good start, and the red card obviously again makes it very difficult for us. Home crowd, just absolutely phenomenal again, and our focus right now, we're all gutted and disappointed, but our focus is totally right now on now doing whatever we can to prepare ourselves for Sunday.
You did speak to us pre-match about how much you needed to see a bit of stability out there tonight. So then to find yourself behind after a matter of minutes and then to have the red card instant, what was going through your head after all the preparations you'd made?
Yeah, it was similar to the Arsenal match, and where we don't really even give ourselves a chance to get going. But the guys fought hard. They never stopped. They ran and tried to play and competed for each other. And obviously... disappointing. But again, right now, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. If we get stuck thinking of negative things and worrying about too many why it happened and what happened, then we don't prepare ourselves for Sunday. So that has to be total focus right now, is what Sunday will mean.
What do you think was going through Dan James's head though when he made that challenge?
Yeah, I think he was aggressive and thought that he could win a ball in the middle there, and then wound up being a little bit overzealous. So, yeah, again, second time in a row, and now we'll lose Dan for the rest of the season. So it obviously hurts, but that's where we are right now, and we have to stick together and be ready for the next challenge.
I think at the time you sort of turned to the fourth official and pleaded there perhaps his innocence. Do you still feel the same about that, or can you see why the decision was made for him to...
I haven't seen it. I thought he got the ball, and then I've heard from others that it was a red card. So I don't know. I actually haven't seen it yet.
2 games now to rescue your Premier League status. How do you describe that challenge that lies ahead?
Yeah, it's big. You know, it's felt like that for months. And obviously our backs are against the wall right now. So Sunday is massively important, and that's what we have to be thinking about.
And with that, looking at in areas what was a bit of a mishmash team, players playing out of position, Jack Harrison, another player that you potentially lost tonight. Do you have an update on him and how you're feeling about the group as a whole? I mean, they're in the stands trying to do their bit, but you need them on the pitch.
Yeah, we were hopeful that Jack isn't too bad, but he took a contusion that limited him from moving too much. Yeah, our fans have been absolutely phenomenal, and we're trying. Even my last phrase to the team was, they work so hard, they're so committed, they do everything they can every day, and they deserve this, but in the end, we have to earn it. So we have 2 more matches to do that, and we have to be focused entirely on that and do whatever it takes in those games and see if we can now keep the match even, not go down early, and find a way to get results.
Okay, well, thanks for speaking to us tonight.
Thank you.
Commiserations. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Well, Jesse Marsh clearly frustrated by the result today, perhaps elements of the performance, and said that he didn't see the red card. We can't see the screen that he's looking at, but it did look as though he was looking at that instance before he went to Kevin Friend, the 4th official, to protest the innocence of Dan James, and explaining to him that he thought that he got the ball. As I said, we don't know what he was looking at. We can't confirm that. What we do know...
If you look at his assistant saying, he got the ball. So they've seen the incident.
What we do know is that it's Brighton at home, Brentford away, Sunday and Sunday for Leeds United. On the evidence of what we've seen from them in this game, longer, across the season, the fact that Everton have managed to drop points against Watford this evening, how are you feeling after that one, Jermaine, all in context?
Frustrated, worried, a little bit worried, I'll be honest. Obviously, Burnley's game in hand is against Spurs, which is a massive game. It's not a given. So I think that's got to be something that, as a Leeds United fan, we've got to look at and say, there's a huge possibility that it's going to come down to those last 2 games. Burnley playing Villa and Newcastle, Everton playing Palace and Arsenal, and Leeds playing Brighton and Brentford. Now, 1 win is all that separates all of these clubs. If one of them wins and the other 2 aren't able to pick up a point, then, I'm pretty certain that team that doesn't pick it up is going to be the one going down. And looking at those fixtures, you would say you would prefer to be in the Leeds United camp at the moment, just based on those fixtures. That's having nothing negative against those clubs. Would you not say that?
You disagree, Graeme?
No. Well, I'm thinking Everton are in a good place. Everton have got a bit of momentum right now. We saw the Goodison crowd last week. They were sensational. I think Burnley might struggle to win any of those games. Newcastle are a very different team now. They've got a bit of grit and determination and fire about them. I think Leeds will have to win one of those games, as I see it. I think Leeds have to win a game.
Yeah, I think Leeds and Everton will be fine if they're able to pick up a point, Leeds and Everton. But I agree with you about what Burnley's fixtures there. I think they're the toughest of the bunch.
They've got Brighton at home, Leeds, haven't they? So they will see that as a winnable game, but they're down to the bare bones in terms of players. They make a difference at this level. And you look at Burnley, Spurs away. Is it Spurs away?
Villa away.
Villa away.
Newcastle.
And then Newcastle at home. I think for Burnley at this time, any of them are super difficult.
Jermaine, you're being very positive. Are you confident?
I'm a glass half full kind of man.
Good man.
And that's the Leeds perspective at the moment, with those games against Brighton and Brentford still to come. So Leeds United still inside the bottom three of the table, but at the other end of the table, Manchester City are going 3 points.